A British construction worker was dizzy with excitement in the year 2016 when a bookkeeper placed a decimal point in the wrong place and dropped approximately $53,000 more in the worker's bank account than what he should have been paid. Now, instead of alerting someone and returning the money, this man went on a spending spree that included alcohol, a gold watch, motel rooms, a car, cocaine, designer clothes, and more. When asked in court why he didn't immediately return the money, this selfish man assumed he was the lucky victim of some type of cybercrime. Instead of using the opportunity to point people to the Lord with his integrity and honesty, he chose to spend this unexpected good fortune on himself. When God called Abraham to be the father of a great nation, God expected Abraham and his descendants to use their blessing and good fortune as a means of blessing others. Later, when Moses reminded the Hebrew people prior to their entering into the promised land, they were not set apart as a holy people because of anything special they had done. Their status was because God chose to love them and God chose to call them unto himself. Furthermore, their privileged position, like the British construction worker with the unusual blessing, was for the purpose of blessing others by pointing them to God. Unfortunately, the Hebrew people were so self-absorbed in their privileged status with God, they neglected the responsibility that went with that privilege. Not only did they not shine God's light to the Gentile nations, they stubbornly refused to do so. As Christians, we also have received God's love and God's light in our lives. God's love for us is so great that when we willingly choose to follow him, God changes our status and sees us as chosen royal priests and holy people. And with that newfound privilege also comes the responsibility of being God's ambassadors, sharing God's light with those who are still living in the darkness of their sin. A popular song says, it's not because of who I am, but because of what God's done. And it's not because of what I've done, but because of who God is. In other words, our status is all about God. It's not about us. Our life should be so Christ-centered and holy that even if unbelievers accuse us of wrongdoing, the error of their ways should be obvious to all. May our prayers this day be that God would use us to bring his light, his love into someone's life. You see, we've been called out of the darkness and into God's light so we might declare his glorious praises to others.